What's up, fam? It's Brian Castrello. So I just watched the season finale, episode 9 of The Last of Us, and this was a great episode. It kind of neatly wrapped up everything and prepared us for season 2. I would say this episode's theme is really how you have to lie to protect the ones you love. There was a lot of that in this episode. But let's just get right to it. So we start with Ellie's mom, played by Ashley Johnson. And if you don't know, that's the voice of Ellie in the game. I thought that was really cool. We see her kind of running across the field. It kind of gave me a moment of when Rick was carrying Carl running across the field to Herschel's barn, or not the barn, but Herschel's house. It just brought me back in that moment. And we see, her trying to escape. She's obviously running from an infected, but this house, which looks abandoned, but she's looking for her people. Eventually, she gets into this room and you can hear the infected coming at her. And I gotta say, whoever played the infected in this episode did a phenomenal job. The movements, the special effects on her was awesome, but the way that she came in was one of the creepiest of the entire season, the entire series so far. And I just, hats off to her. Whoever played that infected who attacked Ellie's mom, Anna, did a phenomenal job. And eventually we see Marlene again. Now, and this is where the lies come into play, because she told her that she was bitten after she basically cut off the umbilical cord, because she gave birth while the infected was attacking her. She tells Marlene, "You have to take my kid. How long have we known each other? You have to take her and then kill me afterwards." At first, Marlene told her she wasn't going to kill her, but she did end up coming and kill her. Very similar to the episode where the doctor was killed. I'm forgetting that character's name, but where she basically just came back in, shot her in the head. But so she takes Ellie, but she told her, Marlene that she was bitten after the fact, so Ellie would be okay. So that's her trying to lie to Marlene to protect Ellie. I get it. But then after that, we come back to Joel and Ellie, and Ellie is kind of distraught. She's not really her typical funny self, which is perfectly normal. I mean, after what she just been through, I'm not surprised by this. There's a moment where Joel finds, and he's really trying to, connect to her, but he finds his Chef Boyardee, and that's got to be like gold in the apocalypse, because I don't know about you, but as a kid, and even probably to this day, I still love Chef Boyardee beefaroni. That is fantastic. And then he finds Boggle, and he's saying how we can play, and he's trying to connect with her and trying to bring back Ellie, because you can tell like that father figure, or that love that he has for her is strong. He's trying to bring her back after what had happened in the previous episode. But they're conversing, and then they're going through this building, and they're talking about going to a skyscraper, and he gives Ellie this boost up to this this next level, so he can she can drop the ladder down, which she does, but she runs because she sees something. And when that ladder just fell like that made me jump. But then she sees a giraffe, of all things, and they have this beautiful moment where they're feeding the giraffe. And if you've never fed a giraffe live, it is fantastic. Here in Columbus, Ohio, you can actually feed the giraffes, and it's one of the coolest things in the world. So I get that scene, that was just a really cool scene, and it kind of brought Ellie back from the distraught and the pain that she's been through. And they're sitting there, they're feeding it, and they eventually go up and they see I don't know if it was a baseball field or what that was, but there was like a whole, herd of them. And it brought Ellie back to the kid that she was. And so that was just a really beautiful scene. I really enjoyed that scene. Eventually, they're walking through, after that, they're walking through this place where the army was. She's asking if that was Fedra, and Joel has a moment where he's kind of admitting, some of the things that he's done in the army, and just And I thought that was kind of a cool moment. Let me see. And one of the big moments before what he says to her is like, you know, you don't have to do this. I can bring you back to my brother, and you don't have to do this. But what Ellie says to him next is kind of interesting, because she doesn't say we. She says, after everything I have been through. So she's referring to everything that she's done, that this cannot be for nothing. After that, you know, I'll follow you anywhere. We can do whatever you want, but we have to finish this. Immediately after that, we see that she's attacked by what turns out to be fireflies. They sneak up on them, take them out, and, you know, Joel wakes up and he finds out from Marlene, of all people, that, you know, they're bringing her into they're prepping her for surgery, and Joel's like, no, this can't be. And then she basically tells him, you know, how this cordyceps works and what it was about her. Like, I believe it was, I hope I'm explaining this right, but the cordyceps is already in her brain, and the cordyceps for the virus thinks that she is, basically sees her as cordyceps, so it's not attacking her, not infecting her. And that's why and they want to use this to create a cure to put in everybody. But Joel realizes that they're going to have to cut open her brain, and this could kill her, and Joel's not having this. And I have not played the game, but what Joel goes through next, this has got to be the coolest part of the entire. I would love playing this section, and eventually I am going to go through and play this game. But he's basically told, Marlene tells him to take, or her people, to take him and bring him somewhere, and if he resists, you know, basically kill him. But he eventually goes down to this, you know, they're going down the steps into the hallway, getting ready to go out, and he turns all James Bond on them. He's going through the hallway. And that has got to be, and for those of you that played the game, let me know how cool was that moment in the game. I've never played, but that just seems like, you know what it reminds me of? One of the greatest video games of all times, which is GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64. If you know, you know, that game was amazing. And that's just kind of the moment I felt. That's just got to be amazing. But, you know, he eventually, you know, kills everybody, and he's getting ready to, he finds Ellie getting ready to be operated on, and he shoots the doctor, and he tells the nurse, you know, unhook her, clean up her wound, and he takes her, and he's stopped by Marlene, and he kills Marlene, which we find out later. We didn't see it right away. But as Ellie's waking up, he tells her, and this is that lying again thing, that he was told that there are more like Ellie, and they stopped looking for a cure. This is one of the things that he told her, and I'm like, is he lying to her? Like, I already had that feeling for that. But we come to the end of the episode, and this episode moves really quick, which as good as this episode was, and as good as every episode has been, I think the pacing, where it's going kind of fast, is the only thing that I think it's the only show's flaw, in my opinion. I think the pacing is too fast for it. Great story, it's fantastic. Every episode is fantastic, but the pacing, I think, is the only thing that somewhat hurts us. But eventually we see, you know, she wakes up in the car, she's coming off the meds, and then they have to stop, and they're going for a walk, and they have a conversation about, you know, what's going to happen next. And the one thing that she then says to Joel is that basically she says, promise me that what you said about the firefly, or swear to me that what you said about the fireflies was true. So, and you could see the hesitation in Joel, but he did not want her to know, you know, what he had to do to Marlene. But eventually that's got to come full circle. Eventually I got to see that Ellie's going to find out that what Joel said is not true, even though he's doing it to protect her. I feel like that's gonna be a big thing in season 2. But I really enjoyed this episode. Really good. A lot of great moments. This is like I said, had to be fun in the game. But what did you guys think about this episode? What were your favorite moments? What are you looking forward into season 2? Hopefully, we're not waiting a long time for season 2. But yeah, I felt it was a great wrap up. Everything kind of fit together, from the backstory of Ellie's mom, played by Ashley Johnson, again the voice of Ellie, to what what Ellie said to Joel, talking about swearing. Everything kind of wraps up and is cleaned up nicely. But to me, the pacing of the whole series is kind of fast. There's moments like with David. I thought that whole, the cannibal thing, I thought that could have went on at least maybe 2-3 episodes. I think 9 episodes is kind of a short season. It just feels like it's going too fast for me. But other than that, I really enjoyed it. The season was amazing. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey are phenomenal. And honestly, every character in between has been great. I love that they have the, Troy Baker in this, the voice of Joel. But yeah, what did you guys think? I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next season.